How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Trading Mindset. This is actually going to be the season finale of the live stream series. Good mornings all around. Good evening and good night for everybody coming in from all over the world. I know we do usually have some fairly international viewers. So I'm going to give it maybe 30 seconds for everybody to join in. In the meantime, I'm going to give some announcements. So moving forward, we'll no longer be doing the Trading Mindset live stream. We're actually switching over to educational videos. So it's going to be called Textbook Trading. You guys can catch those weekly videos on the exact same YouTube channel, on Bybit's YouTube channel. You'll still get announcements in the Discord and Telegram and everything. And hopefully in the future, we can run some giveaways on those as well to kind of continue this little relationship we have. And I want to keep talking to some of the cool traders that I've met throughout this series. I will be hanging around the Telegram and the Discord in the future. So we're going to give it maybe one more minute, and then we're going to start the Trading Mindset season finale lecture. Today we're going to be talking about trading against the crowd, basically contrary trading strategies and trading against popular sentiment. So we'll give it one more minute. Markets right now are doing pretty all right, pretty surprising. That we're seeing these bounces from Ether from like 1050 up to almost 1200 in the past few hours, in the past 6-8 hours or so. Bitcoin doing well, Link doing fine. Link still ranging from, 540 to 750 for the past, I don't even know, week and a half. Some insane price action from Link. I don't really know what's going on there. I know there is some rumors going around, but I don't think anything's been verified yet. But let's go ahead and move in to the Trading Mindset lecture. Let's add this to the stream and go ahead and get started with the disclaimer and everything while people join in. How's it going, Santi? Good to see you. This live stream is for educational purposes only and should not be interpreted as financial advice or an investment recommendation. That includes the chart analysis at the very end. That's all just examples and for educational purposes only. Trade and invest at your own risk. Let's go ahead and move forward. So we'll go ahead and start with kind of a definition of contrary opinion, because we all kind of understand what a contrary opinion is. It's trading against the crowd. It's trading against popular sentiments. But how do people actually define it? The experts that have been studying psychology for decades and decades. So we can start with Humphrey Neal. He developed kind of the first theory or the first revision of a theory of contrary opinion in 1954. It was built on ideas developed by Charles Mackay, Gustave Le Bon, and Gabriel Tarde. Those were all psychologists as well that did understand the markets. Humphrey was kind of the link in terms of the guy that understood markets between these two groups of people, and he ended up writing about it in his 1954 book. In my opinion, the most important takeaway from this entire text, and it is a slightly controversial text, so do take, if you end up reading it, do take a lot of it with a grain of salt, because a lot of the theories have been updated. But some of the general ideas and the most important takeaway still does stand up in these times from his text, is that the crowds tend to be correct most of the time, is rather at the turning points that the majority become incorrect. So you can actually just directly apply this to trends. You can think about a long-term bull trend. Most of the time, the crowds are going to be correct because you have, the 10% at the bottom where we see our turning point, where we're moving from or reversing from a bear trend to a bull trend. The majority of the population is going to be incorrect. The majority of retail traders are going to be incorrect at that time. Maybe the smarter, more acute traders, the institutions will have a higher percentage of people that kind of understand that we are reversing. We should confirm back towards a bull trend. How's it going, everybody that's joining in? Right now, you are right on time. We're getting started with defining contrary opinion. We're talking about how crowds tend to be correct most of the time, and we're relating this to the actual middle of a trend. So we have the bottom 10%, which might be our reversal back towards the bull side. We have our middle, maybe 80%, and then we have our top 10% that's a reversal back towards the bear trend. Most of the time, that 80% in the middle, a large majority of people will be correct. They'll be saying, all right, we are bullish. We're going to continue moving higher for Bitcoin, for crypto, for Ethereum, for whatever equity. Most of the people are going to be kind of a little bit optimistic towards a move higher. And so they will be correct in terms of the fact that we should move higher because we are in the middle of a trend. We're following that trend. They tend to be incorrect at that bottom 10% and at that top 10%, just in terms of proportions and distributions. Yeah, Kilo's in here. Glad to see all of you guys. as well. So next, John Schultz best described the contrary opinion when proposing his bearish market stance in a 1987 Barron's article. This is basically, he was kind of telling everybody, all right, I think we're going to move a little bit bearish. We end up moving bearish right around 1987. He says the guiding light of investment contrarianism is not the majority view. The conventional or received wisdom, so popular sentiment, is always wrong. So it's not that they're always wrong. It's not that the general retail traders or just the general population, people that aren't even into crypto, aren't even into equities, aren't traders at all, are always wrong. That's incorrect. Rather, if the majority opinion tends to solidify into a dogma, while its basic premises tend to lose their original validity and so become progressively more mispriced in the marketplace. So what does this actually mean? So basically, you can think about the time period, the peak of the 2017 bull market, beginning of 2018, the peak of the 2020s bull market. What were people thinking as we moved higher and higher, as we approached and penetrated those all-time high levels, formed new all-time highs? Well, general sentiment did kind of form into a dogma. It was that it wasn't, can we continue to move higher? It was, how much higher can we go? It was Bitcoin's at 50,000. Well, once we've, penetrated that previous resistance, that previous all-time high, we've moved up to 50,000. It's really just a question of how high are we going to go? Are we going to go to 80,000? Are we going to go to 100,000? And then as we move higher than that, we move to 60,000, almost 70,000. People to just say, all right, well, 70,000 definitely isn't the top, maybe 100,000. The smartest people in the room tend to go, well, we probably won't hit 100,000 because popular sentiment says, or everybody's predicting 100,000. We got to bring it down a little bit. We got to beat out those other traders. Maybe 92, maybe 95,000 is where we peak. And when everybody is in total agreement, there's not a single dissenter in the crowd. That's most likely the time when we were actually going to reverse. So we saw that reversal at 69,000 rather than 85, rather than 90, 95, or even $100,000. Because there was a general dogma that it was impossible that we could break down from here, that the most likely, the absolute probability says we're going to move up to at least 90,000, or at least going to approach 100,000. So while that's happening, the basic premises and the validity of the actual stance tend to break down. So maybe we're losing net buy volume on the way up. Maybe we are expanding volatility towards the downside. We're seeing larger bottom side shadows towards the lows. We're seeing larger top side shadows towards the highs. We're seeing larger amounts of volatility than we were before. We're seeing more rejection from sellers. We're seeing less strength from buyers. Anything could happen. Anything could weaken over time that is shrouded by that general dogma, by everybody saying we have to hit 95 or 100,000. Trading against the crowds, isn't that what smart money does? Yeah, well, I think we're all trying to be smart money, and we're all trying to learn to be smarter traders. Now, obviously, nobody's going to be able to perfectly trade against crowds, but hopefully we're going to have a good understanding in terms of crowd psychology by the end of this lecture. I definitely learned a lot by doing some deep dives into the subject. I can give you guys some recommendations after this as well for some good books if you guys want to take it even further. So just to finish this off, it progressively becomes more mispriced in the market. So that dogma continues. People keep saying we're going to move to 100,000. We don't have the underlying or the baseline or the fundamentals to support that. And so it becomes mispriced. The actual baseline price or the actual value of Bitcoin versus the market value, or what people propose should be the value, what everybody believes should be the value. We do see a difference between those. And that's what ends up causing such a sharp fall whenever we reject 70,000, whenever that happened. I shorted 69,000. What's going on? Lalit? I shorted 69,000, but took profit too early. At least you shorted 69,000. I'd say a large majority of people did not do that. I bet longs were definitely built up there. Yeah, I remember this exactly. So the irrationality of crowds, what's the baseline psychology for why crowds are irrational? Why should you trade against them? So again, in Neil Humphrey's text, he developed 4 social laws to explain crowd psychology. Martin Pring summarizes them or lists them as follows. Number 1, a crowd is subject to instincts that individuals acting independently would never succumb to. And number 2, it kind of lines up. People involuntarily follow the impulses of the crowd. So if you're by yourself, you're probably not going to do a keg stand. If you're at a party and there's 20 people chanting your name, you have a much larger probability of actually doing that keg stand. It's the exact same in the markets. If everybody's saying Bitcoin has to go higher, if your favorite people on YouTube, your favorite people on CNBC, you're a big Jim Cramer fan, nothing against him, you're a crypto Twitter guy, and everybody's saying, you're the favorite people you followed for years and years that are always right are saying we have to move higher. You're most likely going to have a little bit of an inkling to buy. You're most likely going to want to follow those people because you don't want to be the contrarian against the people that have always made the smartest decisions, the smartest guys in the room. That's just how psychology works in general. And that moves into point 3, contagion and imitation of the minority make individuals susceptible to suggestion, commands, customs, and emotional appeals. So if you're making your sentiment public, if you're tweeting about it, if you're telling your friends, if all your friends are bullish and you say, I don't know, I don't think Bitcoin can break 70,000. I think we're probably going back under 50, maybe even under 40. And you've got a crowd full of bulls or a Twitter feed full of bulls, you're most likely going to run into a bit of criticism. That's not always the best when people are talking about money. Sometimes they do get hostile, and that's not as fun as just kind of going along there what everybody else is saying. And it also doesn't perform as well. So a lot of the influencers, a lot of the big names in crypto, they'll tweet along with whatever popular sentiment is because it gets the most engagement. So you can't always, not necessarily don't trust influencers, but always understand there is something behind, why they're tweeting that way. Now, it could just be their opinion, but with a lot of the guys that just kind of follow the crowd, and you can generally kind of see through that pretty easily, a thin veil on crypto YouTube, crypto Twitter, and even in the news, people are going for what gets the most clicks, not for what is truly correct. So somebody suggesting that we might be bearish is probably going to get less clicks in a ultra bull market as Bitcoin runs up to 65,000. Finally, when gathered as a group or crowd, people rarely reason or question, but follow blindly and emotionally what is suggested or asserted to them. That's just common sense. That's just survival instinct, in my opinion. But that really lines up with what we just said. So, quick question: if you didn't follow crypto news, YouTube, Twitter, or any traditional media, if you weren't watching this right now, not that we're going to give a bunch of opinions about the current crypto price, but if you just weren't, you weren't in Bybit's communities, you weren't in Discord, you weren't in Telegram, you weren't reading what other people are saying, what would be your stance on the Bitcoin price at the moment? So Bitcoin's currently right around 20 to 21,000. What about, we were just at 69,000. What's your opinion on that drop so far? What's your opinion on, should we reverse from here? Just purely looking at the technicals, blocking out absolutely everything you've heard, and that's the absolute hardest part. I couldn't do it myself. Most people can't do it at all. Blocking out everything you've heard from the past 6-8 months, and just purely looking at the price, purely looking at the technicals and the fundamentals, a little bit of news, trying to filter out anything that's biased towards the bull or the bear side. What are your thoughts? I'm just trying to get some input from you guys as well. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin's price at the moment? And try not to, look at the other people's answers or think about what other people have said. Just think about what you truly believe based on your experience. And I'll give it 2 minutes, and maybe I'll give some input myself, or maybe not. Maybe it's best that we just everybody kind of thinks about that on their own. You don't even have to say anything if you don't want. Case in point, we're in a bear market, but smart money is long on Bitcoin. You're looking at commission of traders. Smart profit money longs is 81%. Meanwhile, everyone is short. What do you mean? How do you get smart money longs? How do you differentiate that? I'm curious. Jim Cramer. Follow the flow of the news usually works, but don't go full ape. That's what I learned. Take profit and trust everything. Absolutely. So following the news, like we said, most of the time that middle 80% following the trend, most of the time general sentiment will be correct. It's just those hard reversals and that bottom 10% and that top at 10%. Bitcoin price, if it breaks the Ichimoku cloud to the upside, I'll open a long. Indicator trader. Daniel chart champion shorted Bitcoin from 68,000 to where price is currently. Saw the top at 68 and shorted it down. Nice. Good call. All right, let's move forward. We'll just call that a thought experiment. What would be your stance on the Bitcoin price at the moment if you were completely disconnected from any outside media, any outside opinions? Moment. So forming a contrary opinion is going to be the last slide before we get into some chart analysis. So if you guys do have requests, think about what you're going to be asking for. in terms of those specific pairs. So I believe we're going to start with this week. We're going to start with a request for Bit. Then we're going to Solana, and then we're going to Storage Coin. And I told y'all that we would do lots of chart analysis this week. So we're going to close this out in like 5-10 minutes. And then those three are going to be first. If you guys have any suggestions, I will continue to add them. I think it's hard to say for me. I can't really get a feeling of where the market is heading. I usually just trust my gut. Well, when you're trusting your gut, in my opinion, you do have to, as long as you're taking account. I think a lot of times when you're trusting I don't want to be, I think a lot of the times it works in my experience, but you have to understand, like, you can't blindly do it. You have to kind of rack up at least a few other factors. It's like trading. You can't, like, yes, you can trade just on price, but it's better to have a few confirmations. That's my opinion on the matter. But yeah, I think there are some legendary traders out there that trade purely on, price action and their gut feeling based on that price action. He sold 4,700 Bitcoin. 4,700 Bitcoin at 68,000 and then shorted. That seems, I don't know about that. So let's go ahead and move into this slide number 5, and then we'll get into some chart analysis. So Spring outlines the following 3 steps to form a contrary market opinion. Number 1, figure out what the crowd thinks. So determine general consensus. This kind of aligns with determine the trend. It's usually pretty easy, but a lot of the times you'll kind of psych yourself out. So might be worth going with your gut, like Ulti said, in this situation. But there are some possible tools and indicators you can use, such as the put-call ratio and the VIX for options markets. You can use momentum indicators such as stochastics and RSI, or the stochastic RSI, 3 different indicators. A focus on extremes is very useful for the stochastics and the RSI. Analysis of public media and opinion through Google Trends. Google Trends, one of my favorite trading tools for probably the past 2 years, and news outlets can also be effective. Although for things like Google Trends and news outlets, you do have to have an eye for it, which I don't know if I do. I'm still practicing. I think everybody could use some more practice on that. But just in general, in terms of determining the extremes, you look up the trends for buy Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin, things like that, or just Ethereum in general, or crypto in general, or a certain exchange, the top exchanges. And you can get a good idea in terms of general sentiments. Number 2, form alternative scenarios. So why might the consensus be wrong? So let's say consensus is bullish. Why might consensus be wrong? And I do have a little example for what was possible/probable for quarter 4 of 2021 when we were moving into those all-time high, or that second quick little all-time high level whenever we finally pushed to 69,000. So equities and crypto are pushing higher while inflation rises in the extreme month over month. So equities and crypto moves to 69, equities are moving even higher. Month over month, a hawkish Fed will want to suppress inflation through interest rate hikes. So we see that we have a hawkish Fed. They're most likely going to want to cut inflation or get it under control. We're seeing rising rates all the way through. We're seeing 7%. We're seeing 8%. They're going to suppress that. The prediction is, the general consensus is that they're going to hike interest rates in order to get inflation under control. This may stifle markets and speculative investing at some point in 2022. So that's just a general thesis in quarter 4 of 2021 saying, all right, maybe a year out, we might see some type of bear market. The inflation completely not under control. We're seeing all-time highs from crypto. We're seeing all-time highs from equities. What might be an alternative scenario to us moving higher? So if the general consensus is we're going to move to $100,000, what would be an alternative scenario where they're incorrect, where the crowd is incorrect? That's number 2. Number 3, figure out when the crowd reaches an extreme. So when the crowd truly reaches an extreme is a foregone conclusion that the trend will continue. So basically it's a dogma. It is an absolute that we will continue our trend. We will move to 100,000. That's the absolute minimum. Think about everybody referencing the stock to flow model. Think about everybody on Twitter, everybody on crypto YouTube. It's just screaming up about Bitcoin to $1 million in 2023. So it's an absolute extreme, and it's a foregone conclusion that we could break down to below 50,000 even. We're never going below 50,000 again. We're never going below 30,000 again. Look what happens. So timing can be aided by the use of sentiment indicators. So again, you can kind of use some of the same indicators you used in step 1 when you're trying to figure out what the crowd thinks. And it's really just determining the trend and determining sentiment about the trend. If we're in the middle of the trend, sentiment is going to be pretty obvious. It's whenever we get towards the top end or the bottom end. Well, it actually, if we're getting to the top end of a bull trend, sentiment's going to be pretty obvious. We're getting to the bottom end of an extreme, a bear trend, but we're talking about timing it a little bit more accurately. So whenever we're getting down to 20,000 like we are now, you might say, all right, sentiment is pretty bearish. Well, let's just take an alternative scenario, but we could be bearish, or we could see the reversal at 20,000. We could see it at 14, like some people are predicting. We could see it even lower. So we want to kind of determine what's that absolute extreme we're going to see. You know, maybe 20,000 is close to it, but not exactly. Maybe we've already seen it. We're going to use some of these indicators to try to aid us. So timing can be aided by the use of sentiment indicators, like our longer-term stochastics. Our longer-term rate of change can be useful. Media analysis, so cover stories. Let's say Bitcoin's at 60,000, we're rising and rising, and Vitalik Buterin gets a cover story on, what is a big magazine? Time magazine is probably the biggest, right? Vitalik gets a cover on Time magazine, or SBF or CZ from Binance gets a Time magazine cover. That's a shouting in your face indicator. All right, maybe we're getting towards either, the top 70% to the actual peak of the bull run. Because if we're in the middle of a bear run, we're most likely not going to get a cover story for Vitalik. Google Trends, again, you can use the same thing. Buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, sell Ethereum, crypto, Ethereum, any of the top alts. How to buy Bitcoin, how to sell Bitcoin, or exchanges. Unrealistic valuations or price predictions. So again, towards the bull side, some unrealistic valuations. People saying 250,000 by the end of 2022, or this would be back in quarter 4 2021, or 250,000 middle of 2022. There's crazy valuation. We do see this in crypto pretty much all the time. You see it with Dogecoin, you see it with GameStop, you see it with AMC. But whenever we're seeing people on CNBC, whenever we're like reputable people on CNBC, I know there are like a lot of the news stations. If you see somebody, you see an influencer, you see an analyst on the news, I'm not going to get into it too much, but it doesn't always say that they're extremely reputable. But you see people like Michael Saylor, is a maximalist. He's always going to say something, $1 million within the next 10 years. It's never short term. You'll see it, or you'll know it when you hear it, when people are saying, all right, Bitcoin can definitely go to 120,000 in the next 3 months. Things like that. Things that really shout in your face. And finally, classic technical analysis. So all of this, step number 1 and step number 3 should always be backed by classic technical analysis, understanding the price action, understanding volume, and a few of those indicators as well. So that is the basic outline for how to form a contrary opinion. We're going to do some chart analysis in just a minute. Let's see if anybody has any suggestions for chart pairs. We do have right around probably 30 minutes we're going to do analysis for towards the end. So maybe we'll do like 20-30 minutes of analysis. Then we'll do that giveaway. And then we'll do maybe 1 or 2 last coins, some final questions and a farewell. How's it going, Itza? Good to see you. A veteran winner of our weekly giveaway. So let's go ahead and move over to the chart and let's just play around for a bit, and then let's move into those requests. I'll check back on the comment feed every 5 or 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and bring me down here. Let's move over to trading view. So here's Bitcoin at 20,900. Let's start with BIT. And in the meantime, maybe we think about some alternative scenarios based on some of our long-term price action. Let's move out to the weekly. I don't think there's enough price action on the weekly to even, Well, this is all old. This is from, wow. That's a dip. This is from May 2nd, so quite a few streams ago. Let's move all those because those are no longer, I can't remember. Wait, put them back on. Let's see if they panned out. It's my favorite thing whenever I move through my favorites list, like on my personal charts, and I move up to I found some old support and resistances on Luna from like $70. So what is this? Is this a long or a short? Where did this even start? I think it was a long. From here, you had confirmation through here, 1095, Sell target close to 112. All right, well, that's not relevant anymore. So let's move into our current price action. I hope the person that requested bit analysis is in here. So it looks like we do have a nice little relief rally. Will it break out further than that? Hope so. It'd be nice for bulls. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Let's actually start with the daily. See if there's anything that we can get from this. Well, we can start with our previous high. It's gonna be right around 447. Ooh, all my settings are different on this. That's okay. So that's currently acting as support, most likely. We can see what it does as we zoom in. Anything lower than that, I don't think is going to be relevant just yet. This 42 area, we're sitting at 45. It's kind of relevant. It's 10%. This 42 area, let's see, lower low would come through here, 41. Our absolute low is right around 40 flat. Makes sense. Move out to the 4 hour, see if we get anything here. All right, that looks good. Wow, let's throw volume on here. We've got 1, 2, 3. This is the 4 hour. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Almost 3 days straight of net buy. Looks like buyers are taking over, making that new high, or at least a new local high. Now, we actually did push back our previous. So this was confirmed through here. Made sense for the bounce. Would we reject that? Or how far did we reject there? Around 7%. What's the general range? We can go from low, and then we can go from that next range. So 7% and 11%. So a good amount of price action. What are we seeing on resistance towards the long side? You might want to move into the 2 hour, the 1 hour to check out this area and this area. And then everything above that is going to be right around here. Let me set a quick resistance there just for reference. Make that right for resistance. Very straightforward chart in terms of the 4 hour. I love seeing that. We haven't been seeing that recently a lot. Usually it takes a good long-term bull market for things to kind of become super straightforward. Nothing here. A lot of slippage. Slippage down through here. 45. What is that? All right, that's interesting. So on the 1 hour, we pushed back above. We didn't spend a ton of time there. Through here at 45. Up through here at 46. Previous high at 47. I think this area in general is going to perform pretty well. Not a ton of volume. We could pull out a volume profile and just take a look. We'll do it from, let's see, from the beginning of, from whenever we entered the range to whenever we exited the range. Yeah, let's do that because we really want, all of this through here. We want to see what these bounces are looking like. So let's do it like this. And it looks like it all lines up pretty perfectly at this level in terms of our averages. It looks like we're seeing something a little bit higher as well, closer to 46. So maybe we wait for 2 confirmations, but I think our first level for confirmation is going to be right around 45 or right around our current price level. So this might be tradable pretty soon, hopefully. Bit to USDT. So I think we're going to keep it around this level. Let's put one high through here. Aligns with our breakdown, actually. So that's tradable for a scalp. Now for trend following, I think it's going to be just about the same thing. We're probably going to wait for the 1 hour. What about the 2 hour? Doesn't align with the 2 hour. 4 hour. No. So a little bit weak on trend following for waiting for a confirmation above a previous high / above here. It probably will fare a little bit better for a scalp towards the long side at the moment. We're going to continue to follow the trend even on a scalp. Now, yes, running higher highs or trading higher highs like this. So we can measure it from our previous high, how high we traveled so far, right around 2.26%. You're going to want to trade it with leverage towards the long side in order for it to be profitable, in order to catch or have a net after fees. So basically, we're waiting for a higher high, and it's going to be a very short scalp, especially because of all the momentum towards the downside at the moment, especially with no confirmation back towards the bull trend, only for the very short term. Nice little relief rally, most likely a bull trap. So you're going to want to catch that profit as soon as possible. How high should we go? Last was 2.28. I would probably keep it. Now, what is going to be our stop loss level? Well, let's just measure to our close real quick. Sorry, we should probably zoom in for all of this. So right around 0.76 to our close. We're going to want to keep our risk reward nice and balanced on this. So let's just run it to 7.6 first, or run it to our previous close through here. Go one lower, one higher. We'll figure it out in a second. So even at 1.75%, you're looking at a risk reward of 2.67. That's a little bit high, in my opinion. Right around 2 for stop loss at negative 0.88 for a target at 1.75. With 5x, that'd be a solid trade. With 3x, it'd be a solid trade. So that's what we have for Bit in terms of anything lining up. Now, in terms of confirmation more towards the long term, actually move back, maybe to the 4 hour. Not getting anything there. This entire area, not getting much. Move out to the daily. That's not terrible. Right around 4.5. So a daily close, I would wait for a daily close above this. We're going to wait for it anyways. Right around 4.6. That's what we're looking for. And then we're looking at a jump with good confirmation for right around 6.08, which would result in probably a 4.8 to 5% trade. Please ETH technical analysis. We absolutely can. We absolutely can and will. So we're going to do Solana. We're going to do storage. We're going to do ETH. Then we're going to do a giveaway. You guys have any more suggestions? Rack them up now. The absolute last chance. No. Let's do Solana. Solana's been a fun one recently. Bouncing hard. Again, all this leftover analysis. That actually might have been a trade. Yeah. Risk reward of 5.19. No, that was definitely analysis. 5.19. That was back in April. So our absolute bottom is right around 25. That is not an all-time low. Solana's kind of new. Solana's very new, actually. So it actually made a higher high. I wish we had more price action. But let's zoom in. None of that's tradable at the moment. Let's zoom into what we're actually looking at. Any of this, $90. We're not even going to touch that. $77, not going to touch it. We're going to move all the way down and probably only look at the price action between right around 25 and 60, maybe 25 and 62 for our long-term range. So let's just go ahead and set some boundaries. Make that yellow for support. The high side, let's just set it up here. I'm sure it's going to be completely irrelevant, but let's just set it. It's going to be resistance. And then we're going to zoom into actually, let's go ahead and see if there's anything for trend following, anything for closes. So I like this area through here for the breakdown, for both the breakdown and for this area through here. So let's just do that. Start off. Let's do it. That one's 42. That one's 44. What do we like better? I always like the closer one, closer to the breakdown. So that's the price action that really rejected us. That's the level of resistance. Magnet mode on? No. I think my template is all messed up. But that's what we're approaching right now. So we're at 39,750, approaching 42.10. Let's see. I think that's probably just about all we're going to get from the daily. This isn't really telling us much. Obviously, we're going to want this close. We got 7 hours left. We're going to want this close to push back into this range. We've already approached the top side. If we close below, it's not going to be a great sign in terms of momentum, but yeah, I know that'd actually be a terrible sign, at least for short term. I'd like to stay in this range, assuming we're aiming for something towards the bull side with all of these relief rallies across Bitcoin, across Ethereum. But towards the downside, everything looks good through here. Lots of momentum push. Really, the lows were 28.50 and $30 in terms of closes. So a lot of pressure from buyers throughout that entire area. So as we're moving higher, it looks like we're seeing contraction. Well, are we seeing contraction, or was it just this area through here? Well, in terms of general or actual highs, let's just let's measure the trend here to here. No, we don't need it. Not this second. So here's our general trend. You can actually extend this all the way as long as we want. You can extend trend lines whenever you want. That's what we're looking at. It's all lining up against that exact same level, that previous high. A lot of the times this is what happens. And it does make for a little bit better of a confirmation, honestly. For this area through here is going to be pretty vital. So box that off. This through here. That red for resistance. That red fill. So that's going to be the area we're focusing on at the moment. Waiting for a new high above right around. Wow, that is almost exact. Let's check that. So the top, you can see it in the top corner through here, your absolute highs. Your high is $40.36. High through here is $41.93. So right around the same. They're very similar. And it looks like we are, is that a general contraction in volume or no? A little bit. It's kind of two halves. Everything's been staying very similar here. I'd like to see, assuming we're going for the breakout through here on trend following, I would like to see an expansion in volume. It looks like we haven't contracted in volume enough to actually see like a formation breakout. So it's mostly likely going to need that higher high. It'll definitely need that higher high. What moved? Something moved here. Right around there. So that's what we're looking at in terms of trend falling for Solana towards the long side. Towards the short side, we're just going to be looking at everything local. So we'll take these off. We'll look for possibility of rejection at this level. You know, we did see that approach. Rejection is always possible. That previous resistance. Let's go ahead and what should we go for here? Should we go for something shorter term? 4.29. That's a lot of price action anyways. We are on the 4 hour. Let's zoom in. Let's throw something. We're actually gonna move back to the daily and just check this previous high. It's a little bit too low at 36. We're looking at these previous closes through here. Actually does make a lot of sense. So we're gonna set it, but we're not gonna set sell targets there. Right around there. This is our first level. And we're gonna zoom into the 2 hour and then the 1 hour. The 2 hour, it's a little bit higher, but I do like the 4 hour better in terms of this little secondary bounce, this little relief and rejection, pushed us straight back down. That's going to be our current support in terms of anything local. What is the stretch there? 4.29%. So a little bit of waiting for either a breakdown from that area. Most likely you're going to want to check there's no lower lows to trade on. It's going to have to be trend following. Probably from the 4 or the 2 hour. Let's say 2 hour confirmation minimum for a close below here, and then I just go towards the breakout area, just right through here. Go ahead, and then actual sell target would be a little bit higher than that. So you'd set your confirmation slightly lower than our actual support. You'd set your sell target slightly higher than our actual secondary support. So let's go ahead and measure that with a little bit of leeway on both sides, right around 6.8, 6.5%. You can bring it down to 6. It's a perfectly fine trade even on like a naked short. Not a naked short, short without margin. All right, any more questions? How's it going, Henra Tusuelda? Oh, man. Boy, is it good to see you. Did you catch TA on YFI? Could you change the sound effects? Oh, wait a minute. All right, we got to go up. Great to have you on the live stream. How's it going, Louise? Oh, wow. Okay, we got a lot. So we got Cardano. My little sticky note. going up here. So we'll call that done for Solana. That's enough. We'll try to do these quicker, then we got to do that giveaway. Sure, the connection's good. You guys let me know if it slows down because it keeps switching between Ethernet and Wi-Fi for me. We'll do Cardano, and then we'll do Wi-Fi, Yearn Finance. We already do Ethereum. No, we did Bit. We did Solana. We're doing storage. We're doing ETH. We'll do those a little bit quicker. It's been odd how it went up despite ETH staying the same. Are you talking? You're talking about was it 33? I'm talking about Solana. Yeah. Next we're doing Unify, Unfi. I think we're gonna try to stick with ones that are, unless it's been listed on Bybit. I think we're trying to stick with pairs on Bybit. Matic. Let's go ahead and take a look. Anything else before we get going? Only English, please. Buenos dias. Let's see. Last questions. I heard is it because of its green emissions news, something like that. Solana is probably, they just launched like a cell phone. Just crazy to see. Can you please change the sound effect on mobile app? You're gonna have to reach out to, I think you can. So there's a monthly live stream with Ben from Bybit, the CEO, and you can make suggestions on Twitter for things like that for the sound effect. But I have no control. Do you have your own YouTube channel? I used to, but I'm only doing Bybit right now. You catch the Wi-Fi? Is it really pronounced? No. Is it pronounced Wi-Fi? All right, let's go ahead and get in this analysis so we can have plenty of time for that giveaway. So next we're doing storage. We'll do storage real quick. With perpetual. Maybe we only look at trend following instead of going for scalps as well, or we only look at the long or the short side, one or the other. Because if we do both sides, it takes too long. Maybe we focus on the long side because that's what we're seeing right now. And although everybody is bearish, like all the traders are bearish, it would be contrary to be bullish right now. That would be the alternative scenario that we were talking about. But have we reached the extreme yet? That's the real question. So we're not doing long-term analysis anyways. All right, let's go for a little high through here. A little bit of slippage. It's always, we always see that. It's becoming part of chart analysis for crypto that we see slippage like this. It's just part of it. We could actually extend that all the way back and it looks good. It looks good. Quite a ways back for storage. What is storage at even daily? Its high for 2022 is 348. Man, it fell off. This was a 2017 coin. Used to be a king. All right, let's move into 4 hour. Looks like a little bit of rejection at right around 94 cents. Psychological resistance at $1 flat. We've seen shadows above, but we have not seen closes above. If we're going to want to make this one quick, since this is a request from last week, we're just going to focus on that $1 area. Psychological resistance, maybe a little bit higher, $1.04 for a scalp. But we can check out the volume profile in just a moment because there is going to be a lot more throughout this area, given that we have price action going all the way back to January. So January to right around the end of April. Let's just check it out. Let's start through here. Start when the range began. And then when did the range, say a little bit down through here. We'll just say right through here. Whenever it actually fell off, that makes more sense. And we're looking at right around the same area, close to $1.05, $1.06. It's going to be the same situation when everything's lining up. This is like a 88 Cardano trade or an XRP trade. When everything's lining up against round numbers, you're messing with beating out everybody else because everybody's looking at $1 for storage. Whenever Cardano's at $1. Everybody's looking at $1. You're looking to beat out those other traders. You're looking to beat out this slippage. So if you set a stop buy at $1, $2, you would have gotten stopped out already because those others are already trading either before or after. They're a little bit more patient, or they snipe you just before. So what you do is you just kind of stretch your margin. You stretch your percentage confirmations. So if previously you're looking at $1 for, you can actually just throw a line there. Looking at $1 flat, and you're looking for confirmation above that level. Previously, wow, 4.87. Well, a situation like this, you got to look at it at a case-by-case basis, but 4.58, maybe you say I need confirmation at plus 6%, and then we go in for a long. And then we reject down, you set those stop losses. Wow. So there were definitely people that got, what is the idiom? The bad end of the stick on this one. They went long at plus $1.02. That confirmation or that price action, then it comes down 14% from $1.02. Talk about sweeping the stops. So this is going to be a tough one, but I think if we make that new high, we're going to be just a little bit more confirmed. In terms of the volume profile, it's closer to $1.06, $1.07 if you want to be super safe. No reason not to wait until $1.10 plus and run this up, because we don't have now how much time we can run that volume profile one more time and figure out what we're looking at in terms of anything higher. In terms of the top of the range, call it close to there. Bottom of the range, call it close to here. Looks like we've got the most amount of volume close to $1.32. We want to stay below all of these. Maybe bring it down to $1.25, $1.24.8, $1.24.7 is probably going to be my preference if I was to trade this, educational purposes only. No, $1.25.7, $1.27, $1.24. I mean, there we go. 0.7 with confirmation above $1.07, we go $1.10. That's already a 15% trade. Quick 15 banger towards the long side. Anything else? Let's see. Good morning all around. Yeah, user feedback, that works as well. So let's do Ethereum or Ether, and then we'll do the giveaway, and then we'll do Wi-Fi. If it's really pronounced Wi-Fi, and I've been calling it Wi-Fi this whole time, or ADA, and then Wi-Fi, and then we'll probably close it out. So with all the Celsius insolvency rumors, how's this Celsius token doing? It's not doing great, but it did bounce, which I thought was funny. We can just look at the chart. We won't do any analysis, but we'll just look at it. It did get delisted a lot, though. We'll just go Bittrex. Take that off. Yeah, so you can see it did bounce. I think it bounced even higher on other exchanges. From 18 cents, it went lower on other exchanges as well. To $1.11, $1.15. Let's check out down to 13, it's up to $1. I thought it went to $2 on certain exchanges. Maybe not. All right, well, we're not doing analysis over it, but it's cool to see. But compared to its all-time high of like $8, everything's down against the all-time high. So honestly speaking, it's not down as bad as like Luna. So we're gonna do ETH, right? Or did we already? No, we didn't already do ETH. Let's find the perp on. Is this gonna mess up all? No, these are way old. 27,000 or 2,700. Man, just a couple months ago. 2,700, $3,000 ETH. All right, so we'll start on the daily. We're not going to get anything from zooming out. We've already made that new low. Volume profile is fantastic, though. At least we're seeing some type of fluctuation. Now, this is all relative, so there was fluctuation all throughout everything we saw back through here. But in terms of seeing something net, something giant in terms of net on both sides. So net pulls and net sells, net buys and net sells. It's good to see. It's good to see some conviction from buyers and sellers, or at least buyers finally. We've been seeing conviction from sellers this whole time. Let's bring this down to the absolute low at 875. We most likely not return to that soon, but let's set it there anyways as support. And then let's go ahead and check for trend following, check for closes. Anything up here is all going to be irrelevant right around $1,700, most likely irrelevant unless we confirm an insane bounce. But in my opinion, not financial advice, most of the time, if we're confirmed for a bear trend and we bounce up, we'll probably not hit these previous highs. Like, we won't bounce off of them directly. We probably won't even approach. It would be like a halfway point, like 1450 or 1500. We see a nice bounce, then a rejection. So let's see if we have anything through here. We can set it at these highs, and we're going to move into the 4 hour and see if it gives us anything. But these are our daily closes. This as well, in terms of closes, lines up with their previous or a little kind of mid-formation high. Let's zoom into the 4 hour, probably move those around a bit. Stretch this out. And it's not terrible in terms of our closes through here, but we're most likely not going to want that on our chart as we move towards the shorter terms. So it's really only useful for trend following from that daily. The 4 hour, not going to be as much confirmation, and it's a top side close. It's not going to be as tradable as something like our bottom side closes. Previous support now flipping into resistance, flipping to resistance here. We still have we seen closes above that level? It was right through, I'd say right around the middle. Not a can't see any of that. Not a percentage confirmation from support, or what was acting as resistance, to like the top side of that is 13 bips. So what do we have in terms of confirmation? What do we need in terms of confirmation? I'd like to see a solid close above that level, but we are seeing these little flip-flops from like our candlestick shadows and our closes, especially on anything under the daily. Even on the daily, they're not giving us any indication. All the indication right now is coming from general price action and is coming from volume. So trend following in the shorter term is not doing as well as a strategy right now, just in general, across the board, because there's the market isn't performing or isn't acting as normally as it would in a general bull market or a general bear market, because what we're seeing is either a reversal or a bull trap. So we can just go ahead and wait for a little bit more confirmation. Like I said, 0.13% isn't anything to trade based on, isn't good enough confirmation in terms of a close. We did see a new high, which was nice in terms of our, what is that? How old is this? Back to the 18th in terms of weekly price action. You see a new weekly high over these past few hours, past 8 to 12 hours. And whenever we made that high, how high did we go before breaking back down? We moved up around 2.68%. That was immediate. So for the scalp, that would have been fine, right around 1.75, 2%. But in terms of trend following, I'm really not seeing it on the 4 hour. We can move in a little bit further. Maybe if we can hold this on the 1 and the 2 hour, if we can hold the support, yeah, then we can see a move back up. What would that be from current price to our previous or very local high, right around 2.19? That could be fine. You'd be trading based on candlestick closes. There's really not, or just wait for volume to flood in, but comparison, we've only got 3 sticks. This would be like a very short term, almost a Japanese candlestick analysis for this one. Based on all of these closes through here, we wait for a hold, and then we wait for a breakout based on previous highs. If we make highs above 1200, something like that in terms of very short term scalp back towards the long side. In terms of the short side, we wait for closes. We don't even need to wait for closes. We just wait for price action above this low, around 1183, with a little bit of percentage-based confirmation, so maybe like 1180. So that's what we're looking at for ETH right now. we do need to get into this giveaway. So let's do the giveaway, and then we'll finish up with those last few. Wi-Fi at some point was higher than Bitcoin. I do remember that. All right, so we've got Wi-Fi. I'm just going to call it Wi-Fi from now on. That probably is correct. We're going to do ADA after the giveaway. Let's go ahead and move out to that, and I'll move through the comments as we take a look at that. So can I move over here? No, I cannot. So what I have to do, stop sharing, go here. Get an update from the streaming software, and then we move out and we share screen. I hope everybody's trades in general are going well on both the long and the short side. It's always great to see. Things can be frustrating at these times. Let's go ahead and refresh this because we're pulling. Are we pulling an error? Let's just give it a shot. Let me know if you guys can join. Let's go ahead and open it up. So what you're going to want to do is go to menti.com and use the code 50686812. What this is going to do is give you a little text box. You submit your Telegram or your Discord name, for example, at Brandon44, and then put either --Telegram or --Discord. Nice t-shirt. You'd like to have one too? Let me see what I can do. So go ahead and submit your Telegram or your Discord name, --Telegram, just like Elite just did perfectly. Now what you're going to want to make sure you do is either join or double check that you are a member of Bybit's either Telegram or Discord group. That's the only way that we're going to be able to distribute the reward and reach out to you. This giveaway is for a 50 USDT futures bonus for our last giveaway. Let's go ahead and check out these comments though. We'll give it maybe 5 minutes for people to join in. Luna was the real shocker because Waves was exposed on Twitter that their devs were manipulating the price. Yeah, that happened at the same time pretty much. So I thought that the price will go down, but Luna wept on a death spiral. I don't know, went on a death spiral. Yeah. I mean, it had to do with how many coins were paired against UST. Does Waves have a? I don't think Waves has a stable coin. Because some people want to continue working on the Luna Classic and disassociate themselves from Doquan. We'll see how it goes. That's a whole mess that I'm personally staying away from. I'm not going to be trading Luna or Luna 2.0 or Luna Classic or Luna Diamond. Well, what I mean by that is I'll give it a month and then I'll look into trading them. Because I definitely traded Luna on the way down and the way back up. Or the way down and then like the bounce from it's like a bounce from $1 to $7 or $8. That was a fantastic little trade. But the shorts were all short-lived. I wish I was okay. I wish I had the insight to short further, but nobody had any idea. Can you share the Telegram group? Let me see if I can drop an invite just so everybody's in. All right, so we do have everybody. Let's see real quick if I can do that though. Let me go ahead and copy this link. I want to make sure that I can even put a link in as a YouTube comment though. Let's see if it works. I think I can because, so there you go. That'll help you join the Telegram group. We got 14 people viewing. We got 14 entries. Let's go ahead and do this final giveaway. So let's close it out. We got tons of returning viewers, tons of returning winners, some veteran winners. It's great to see. So we're going to put everybody's name. If you've done this before, we're going to put everybody's name into the Wheel of Names, which is a randomizer. And you guys can see who's going to win. Well, very last giveaway. I'm excited. Lots of returning winners. So that is 15. Maybe we got a last minute entry, or do we get any doubles? Double check real quick. Loving it, ciao. Okay. I think that's, wait. Yeah, I guess we just had 15 entries. So let's go ahead and move over to the Wheel of Names. Let me share it. How to enter. We just closed it off. Oh, man. Van Dip. All right. I'll throw you in just because it's the last one. We want to give everybody a chance. I'll throw you in manually real quick. So, Wheel of Names, at Van Dip. Oh, at Ander the Trainer. I did the same several times when I started. Van Dip. Sure, we got everybody in there. Sweet, thanks. I'm in there. Ulti. Everybody make sure that your name is in here. This is the last one we're going to do, so I want to make sure everybody has a chance. If anybody has any, let's see. All right, Ander's good. Andor. At Andor the Trainer. Forgot to track Telegram after. That's fine. This is a Discord. This is probably a Telegram. Yeah, Discords have the numbers. This is a Telegram, probably. Let me know if this is incorrect, and I will change it for you guys. But let's give it 10 more seconds for last-minute changes. Meme, not in the list yet. All right, what's your at? Ultimate. Last one is going to be Chinjin. If you want to get in, let me know your Telegram. Come on, guys. Just let me know your Telegram real quick, and I'll add you in, but we got to be fair about it. Chin, JW2. Everybody else that's in already is like, stop adding people. Stop. I love Nitty. Is a Discord, yeah. All right, that's it. We're closing it off. Oh, Emmanuel. Oh, it's a. All right. Because it's the last stream, you're not in there, Ulti. I just added you. Ultimate Telegram. It's sorry, closed out. My bad. My bad. Okay, we'll just do and Manu Elise one. All right, we're doing it. No more entries. We got 20. We're spinning it. Very last giveaway. Let's see who can get it. Oh, oh, oh. Oh my. Wow. Are you guys seeing that? Can we zoom in? Let's zoom in. Ah, okay. Well, it's I Love Nitty. Congratulations on winning, but you guys have to see how close that was. We can't zoom in from there. But Chow 90. I'm real sorry. But I Love Nitty, or I Have Nitty. Congratulations so much. Oh, it's you, Edgar. Congrats. Louise. Well, there will be giveaways in the future. You guys, I'm sure, are the A team for entering. I've seen all you guys' names on the list. You guys are the A team for entering all the Bybit giveaways throughout Telegram and Discord. So there will always be more opportunities. Let me go ahead and grab your name. And we're going to move back and do a little bit more chart action analysis because it's a fun Friday, and on fun Fridays, we're going to be trading later anyways, or after I end the stream. Might as well look at the charts. So let's go ahead and share. Let me write down this name real quick. Nitty. And we'll... It should take a little bit, not as long this time, for those giveaway rewards to come out because we have I've got a slightly different process. So let's go ahead and share. We'll do like 10 minutes of analysis. we'll do YFI at 88. But after that, I got to eat some lunch. Well, 88 was requested first. Yeah, I got to eat some lunch. All right, let's go ahead and start with the daily. What else? What else news-based is going on? Since we're talking popular culture and crypto. Let's start with the range. Oh, also, yeah, Nitty. Go ahead. I think you maybe just messaged me, but do send me a message on Telegram. Then we can get your distribution started. That process. 4.2 and 4. I thought I was seeing. I was like, did we already do ADA? No, we were looking at storage. We're just bringing our and we can even bring these a little bit closer. We're bringing our range in over time. Not a huge difference, but anything on the bottom side through here for that previous price action, not really. Not telling us much. This is slippage through here. That's interesting from our closes. It's this little formation. Is it the same thing as the daily? It's this little formation, this little like inverse head and shoulders that everything's forming, or that everything's making, that Ether, Bitcoin, Link, everything's making right now, and they all look a little bit different. They're all either like barely sloped one way, or extremely sloped this way, or completely flat. I'd still keep it right around there. It might even cup and handle. This is ADA. Yeah, ADA. It's got some opportunity coming up in terms of just general formations. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Now, what are we looking at above there? This all makes sense. I don't think it's going to be super heavy, though. I mean, we can measure that in a second. Let's do that first. Let's go from entry into the range to But if we go all the way here, we're gonna get a lot of clutter. Let's go here until we begin, or even here. Yeah, we should get a little bit more information. That's kind of what I expected. It was right around either between the bottom side of these closes to our breakout area, and it's right in the middle, right around 55. Now, if we measure the depth of, okay, well, it depends how we want to treat this. We can treat this formation through here, box it off. This formation through here, we can either treat it at, well, let's throw this up here first so we can take that off. Very cluttered. We can either treat it as an inverse head and shoulders, a sloppy one at that. Well, yeah, super sloppy because our right shoulder's not even comparable. Like even if we had a sloped neckline, excuse me, that, make sure we don't go through closes. Maybe through here makes the most sense. So even if we had this sloped neckline, let's go ahead and measure 20.23% versus 10%. Unless, no. So it wouldn't be proper. Now it could very well just act as a head and shoulders. It could look like a head and shoulders and then just completely act like a head and shoulders and be invalid in terms of like the textbook definition. Now what about a cup and handle? What do we treat as the cup? Probably this through here. This would be a V bottom. This is rounded bottom. We need a handle. We reject through here. We come down a little bit. And maybe that's what we're doing right now. We come down to here at 47. We push back up. And then what we need either way is a new local high, which is right. Bring that down. Right there at 51. Zoom in a little bit more. Right there at 51.1. So close to 51 flat. That would be our confirmation. That's a 8%, 10% trade. Wait for a little bit of percentage based, so maybe half percentage point through there. 51.44. And you're looking at a sell target all the way up to 8.35, probably closer to 7.5. For 88 towards the long side. Towards the short side, we're not seeing any confirmations with these silly little inverse head and shoulder slop formations. But we're going to move over to YFI. How's it going, everybody? Who should I send my details in Telegram? You can send them to me at Brandon Bybit. All right, see you later, Louise. Thank you so much for joining. Discord is requesting your wallet authentication and passphrase for MetaMask for the Bybit Discord. Yeah, you can just do it on Telegram. Let's see. CBT for South African token. Oh, that's awesome. Bybit has a huge, just in general, African community. I'm sure you're a part of it. That's not the right Discord then. No one asked for that info unless you're trying to get scammed. Ooh, yeah. But I sent a good link. If you scroll up a little bit, I sent the link from the Bybit Discord. Whichever the pattern, it's just going to fake out and dump. I agree with that general sentiment. Not necessarily for the situation, but just for trading situations in general. CBT is going to put South Africa on the map. Cannot find you in Telegram, Bybit channel. Let me get you my phone number. It is at, let me see. Well, I can just at you in the Telegram, I believe. I'll do it after the stream. We got like 5 minutes left, but I'll at you in the general. So just keep an eye on. You can also message Kilo. Let's do that last analysis over Wi-Fi. It's not favorited, most likely. Bybit. Perp. 71. Why are there no? Wait a minute. Sorry. It's just so weird to see. I was like, why are there no dollar signs? There's no dollar signs on any chart, but it's whenever you see 7190, anytime you see a number in the thousands, you're like, and these jumps. 8,100, 9,300, 10,500 on anything but Bitcoin or Ethereum. Wow, it has taken off from 4,000 up to 7,000 in 5 days. 5 days, 20 hours, 5 days, 16. Move back out and just see if there's anything interesting on the chart. Nothing. Breakdown from 18,000 was good general support, it looks like. 18 to 18 and a half. Back throughout Q1 and a little bit into April 2022. It's a big old dump. Man, that volume is coming in, flying in. What happened back here? Who's got all the Wi-Fi? Who's got the Wi-Fi? Well, somebody sold a bunch, and somebody's buying a bunch. Well, most likely somebody bought a fair bit. They bought a bunch at these levels, and then people are following in because it's been, 8 hours. We confirmed something, new high of 5,600. Then you got 2 more candlesticks. Well, you got like 5 hours of trading. People have caught on. It's trading hours right now. People are always awake in crypto. So what are we looking at? I mean, we're returning to this previous level. Excuse me. So we're going to set one resistance on the top side. We're going to set one support on the bottom side. Where are we going to set them though? I think I like this level the best. Good mix of approaches, good mix of breakouts. We got 2 breakouts through here. We got holds on bottom side shadows, bottom side closes, and approaches through here. I like that for support. It's currently acting as resistance, though. In terms of resistance, currently acting as resistance as well. Now what do we go for? Do we go for our most local, or do we go a little bit higher where we've got more confirmation? Or do we do both? And there's also something right in the middle. That is a tough zone. At least for a long from confirmation. So these are the three areas I'm looking at. Let me first through here. Zoom this in a ton. First through here. Bottom side shadows, top side shadows. Second, here, where we had this giant dump. Now, is that proper support? Or is that just happening because of all of that net sell volume? What does it align with? Align slight with these topside closes, kind of these approaches, but I think it's going to be lower. I think a little bit lower makes way more sense. To align with, we take this off and we really only have those two. We really only have that dump right through here. We go here, and that's what we're looking at in terms of reference. And then we move back and we see confirmation based on closes. No closes above that level. We see confirmation based on shadows, shadows, approach, shadow, slippage through here, closes. That's what we're looking at. Approach, approach. And I think that's going to be the best in terms of anything relevant to our current price action. We are going to keep this resistance up through here right around 78. It's going to make it a little bit harder for any long side trades. I wonder what the volume is on this, like the actual volume. 24-hour volume is 224 million. Market cap is 264 million. But it makes sense, at least in terms of relative to what we saw back through this entire area. Let's go ahead and get a profile for this whole area, though, and just confirm. It's most likely going to be towards the top side of this, in my opinion. But let's just go ahead and do it. Let's get one more indicator, one more good confirmation. Let's go from, we can do it twice. We can include this through here, aka the scam wick. We'll refer to it moving forward all the way until we break down. So let's include the scam wick. Let's move to our breakdown and see what we get. And it's going to be right through there, which aligns perfectly with actually our breakdown, which we can see as well. Usually we wait for a little bit more confirmation, but in terms of acting as actual resistance, this 7460 does make a lot more sense based on our closes that we needed. So that's where we see that average. Anything above there, we're working with this area through here. Based on these, we could see a little bit of overlap up to maybe close to 8,000 if you're looking to scalp. But you can see that we did see a little bit of an imbalance coming from that. Now let's try it without including our scam wick. So let's start it at the beginning of the top side of this range. We can really just start it right through here. It's all going to be averages anyways. The exact same level. And a little bit lower through here in terms of our resistance. So I'll try to give my thoughts on all these levels because we have so many of them. It's most likely going to be probably on the 4-hour, that we see situations such as we come up and maybe this area through here. So again, we're going to have to throw one more level on the chart. So we come up, we reject this as a topside shadow. Let's say we move higher. Let's say we move higher. It's possible that we close right at 74.55 and then we wick up to that next level. That next level acts as resistance as we move higher. Let's say we step up a little bit higher. We close just below 76.30 and then we wick up to 78.35. And then once we make that higher high, We close at 78.35, and then we move a little bit higher up to right around 8,000. Then we wick to there. That's what we're looking at in terms of the volume profile. But I think we're most likely going to skip at least a couple of these. I think our major areas are going to be, I can actually take this off, take this off. I think our major areas, we can probably take this off as well. Well, actually, no, that's what's happening. So we may see a close below this level if we actually reject for close at 72.75 and then no absolute price action above 74.45. So that's the first profile. But in general, we're looking at the largest amounts of resistance through this area. Let's say from here to here. And then honestly, sell targets up there. If you allow overlap from shadows, a little bit of confirmation. 6.81, 6.71. Let's say you wait for that new high, or wait for that high based on our little breakdown through there. What are we looking at? 3.97. Smallest trade you can make is 2.06. So most conservative, quite a few situations for Wi-Fi at the moment. It's going to be very subjective. But that's what happens whenever you're following price action like this. Whenever you're following a move from 49, almost 5,000 to 7,400, a 50% move. It's going to be a lot more questionable in terms of those predictions and probabilities. So that's what we have. Anything else? Any last Wi-Fi scam? I haven't seen any news about Wi-Fi, but the volume is ridiculous. Why don't we look at the addresses that are buying Wi-Fi on chain? It's a good move, but I think we have to close out the stream. There's a scam wick, and do you know it was a pump before the dump on these type of coins? Let me think. Oh, I did message Kilo. Wasn't sure if he was related to the topic. Yeah, if you message Kilo, then he'll just forward your user ID to me. Wasn't comfortable about mentioning CBT since it's not listed on Bybit. Looking forward to seeing it listed. Yeah, you guys can also reach out to support as well and mention that you want to see CBT listed. I know there are always people listening. But let's see. Yeah, he got you. Good. That innovation spot listing. Nice. What is a scam wick? A scam wick is whenever you see absurd price action. Okay, so most of the time it's just like a general phrase. It's not, you can't define a scam wick. Most of the time it's a wick that clears out your stops. So like we saw back on, what was it? Was it storage? Was it storage that was sitting right around $1? That scam wick was the one that went just above $1, went 5% above $1. So it made sure that everybody that had buys, that had stop buys just above $1, bought, and then it comes straight back down in the next candlestick and goes to like 92 cents. So most of the time it's going to be not a close, but an actual wick that clears out stops or that clears a bunch of, and fills a bunch of buys. What's going on? TA on BCH. I think we're going to close out the stream here. It's only supposed to go for an hour. It is the last stream. CBT or CBD? CBT. See it going to around 150 and then under 100. I honestly haven't traded Bitcoin Cash, Bcash, since like 2015. Or not 2015, excuse me. 2017, 2018. But yeah, I think that's going to be all of the requests for today. Thank you guys so much for joining in on the very last Trading Mindset live stream. I look forward to seeing you guys and chatting with you guys on Telegram and Discord, and the new series that is coming out at the beginning of July. It's either going to be the first or second week of July. We will be coming out with weekly or I'll be coming out with weekly videos that cover technical analysis concepts in under 3 minutes, and they'll be a little bit more fun. They're a little bit, the graphic style, working with the editor to kind of punch them up a little bit. But we'll have some good metaphors we'll start with the basics. We'll start with trends, with support and resistance, but then we'll get into some of those cool concepts, especially in season 2. I have some good ideas. So you guys can follow through there. You can subscribe to the Bybit YouTube channel to see when those videos come out. Just wait for it'll be a new thumbnail, but it'll also be me on it. So you'll be able to tell when those videos come out. Make sure to support those there. It's been so much fun throughout these past, 13 episodes of Trading Mindset to discuss with you guys. Everybody who's come in and watched the live stream, like pretty much every time, Santi, some of the OGs, thank you guys so much. Congratulations to all those winners for the past 3 months. For these people that won, or for the fellows that won past 2-3 giveaways, you should get those very soon. Probably within the next 2 weeks, if I had to guess. But it's been so nice talking to you guys and doing this series. Hopefully in the future we can do some more live streams, but we're going to try some video content for a little bit. So hopefully we'll find a new format that's based on live streams, where we can do some more live analysis, maybe live trading in the future. We'll find out. But thank you guys so much for watching. You can actually follow me on Twitter at Oracle of Crypto if you want to see, just like follow charts and stuff. I just post trades there. But thank you guys so much. It's been awesome. Have a wonderful Friday, a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys later. Peace.